Mara stopped appearing in mirrors the week the pharmacy changed brands of her sleep medication. That's how she explained it, because explanations are better than panic. It was easy to miss at first. In the bathroom, steam wiped her from the glass. In the hallway, the full-length mirror held only the room behind her. Her toothbrush, yes. Her towel, yes. The shape that should be Mara, no. She tested it. She held a black dress against her ribs and saw a floating dress. She raised her hand and saw 5 empty spaces where fingers would go. When she laughed, thin and badly timed, the mirror showed the lamp flicker in the corner, but no mouth to make that sound. She told no one. The trick to surviving is to be plausible. At work, her reflection gathered dutifully in her co-workers' pupils, small and manageable. On the train, windows gave her back a shadow if she leaned at the right angle. If she moved quickly, the world obliged by not looking too closely. At therapy on Thursday, the mirror across from the couch had been covered since the pandemic. The cloth sagged like an old sail. Dr. Rinaldi spoke in her kind, measured voice about sleep hygiene and gentle wake-ups and screens in the evening. Mara nodded, grateful for a place where absence could hide. It got worse on Saturday night. Her phone camera, which never lied, hesitated. For a second, it showed her, not as she was, but late, like a thought that arrives after you've already answered. Her face came a beat behind the tilt of her head. Her smile lagged behind the joke. When she turned the phone away, her face hung in the frame a moment longer, the way a smell clings after you've left a room. She avoided mirrors. She bought a matte kettle and used bowls that didn't shine. She turned the television down when the screen went black between shows. Windows at night were dangerous, the city's darkness made glass honest. In honesty, she was gone. Sunday, rain. She tried to nap. She woke to a sound like beating wings, except there were no wings, only the hum of the fridge and the long drip in the bathroom. The drip was not rhythm. It was counting. She stood before the bathroom mirror anyway. She breathed on it. A film fogged the glass. She wrote her name, Mara, and waited for the trick she wanted, the childish joy of a face emerging. Nothing emerged. The fog thinned. Only the wet letters remained. She pressed her fingertips to the glass where her face should be. The glass was cool. Behind it, the room in the mirror waited, same towels, same lamp, same shower curtain tugging at the breath of the vent. The mirror room looked obediently real. It simply had no Mara. What if the mirror wasn't wrong? What if the mirror was correct and she was the one late to herself? The idea came as a soft, industrious moth, batting around her thoughts. Everywhere she looked she found delays. Her voicemail transcribed her words a second after she spoke. Her microwave beeped before she hit stop. A bus arrived, opened its doors, and only then did she hear the brakes. The world, perhaps, was moving on time. She was the one on a different schedule. A step behind. A breath after. She felt it in her chest, a lost metronome. On Monday, she woke to the sound of her own voice saying you're late, but her mouth had not moved. The voice came from the hall, thin as paper, the way voices are when heard through a door. She stood, bare feet on the rug, and followed her voice to the hall mirror, the one she draped with a scarf when her mother died. The scarf was on the floor. The mirror was open and bright. Inside it, the apartment was brighter by a fraction, as if the light bulb had been replaced. Inside it, Mara was on the couch, tying her shoes. Inside it, she looked timely. She finished knotting the lace, stood, turned, and saw Mara, the Mara outside the glass, gaping. The inside Mara smiled with relief and lifted her hand in a small, apologetic wave. Mara lifted her hand too. The outside light flickered. The inside light remained steady. The inside Mara took a step forward. The glass did not resist her. It held like water, ready to be entered by the one who still belonged there. Dr. Rinaldi would say integration. She would say schedule. She would say routine. Mara whispered none of that. She whispered, "Am I late?" And the inside Mara nodded, gentle and kind and unbearable. The world has rules. We ignore most of them until we trip. The mirror rule had kept her safe. Match the world, and the world will match you. She had failed to match. She placed her palm against the surface. It was cooler than the room, and clean, and it accepted shape of her hand with a soft acknowledgement, like a letter slot taking an envelope. The inside Mara placed her palm to the same place. Palm to palm, finger to finger, time to time. She thought of the dress she'd wanted to wear and the dinner she'd promised to attend and the laugh she had not quite timed. She thought of the seconds she had borrowed like coins.